Hello and welcome everyone. Super excited to have you here joining me on Best for Women Live. If we haven't met before, hello. My name is Brooke Gordon and I am your host today. I'm just getting my earphone in, and joining me in just a moment will be Hazel Williams. Big Girl Interrupted, and we're super excited to have her with us today. So here we go. Let's have her in and add. Beautiful.
Hello.
Hazel, hello and welcome.
Hi.
Super glad to have you here on the show today, and really excited about the topic that you and I are going to be getting into around being clear on your vision.
I'm excited too. And thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
My absolute pleasure, my friend. It's so great to have you here. I wanted to kick off with sort of a celebration. You and I actually I say finally because it's been at least 3 years that you and I have been in touch, and we finally met in the spring at Amplify Your Voice, which was just so awesome to actually meet you and hug you. And I always can tell when I haven't met someone before, because I'm always like, you're taller or shorter. Like, it's always a height thing, like, because you see everyone and they're in this perfect box at a perfect eye level, and then you meet them and you're not at eye level. You're like, oh, we're not at eye level, and you're like, oh, you're a different height from me. I had no idea. That's why I know we haven't met.
Yes, it was awesome meeting you in person too. It was exciting to actually meet in person.
I know. It was really cute too, because I remember you and I saw each other and we're like,
Yes.
oh, which is so great. Hazel, I wanted to start off by maybe giving you a chance to take just a moment to introduce yourself to everyone and a little bit more about what Big Girl Interrupted is.
Okay, so I'm Hazel. Thank you for inviting me to be on your podcast. I'm excited, and your IG Live. So I'm the founder of Big Girl Interrupted, and I help women set goals and crush them. And I use the tool of a vision board to help them do that. And that's what we do.
Amazing. Okay, we're going to start off with the simple thing of, what is a vision board?
So a vision board is a visual representation of your goals. So a lot of us and a lot of people that I meet, I have my goals in my head.
Yep.
It's good that it's in your head, but we got to get it out. So in our community, we believe that you need to, start with writing it out so you can actually see what your goals are, and if they're truly your goals, right? Because sometimes when you actually see them on paper, it's facing you. So you now have to face it, right? And you have to look at it. Is that really what I want? Is that really what I want to go for? Is that really what I want to put all my energy and time into and focus on? And then we take those goals, we break them down into smaller goals, and we help you through that process. And then we help you create your vision board. And your vision board is a visual representation of those goals that you've once started with here, put onto paper, and then now have on your vision board. And then we also help you with building the relationship with your vision board, because that's not where it stops. You need to have a true relationship with your vision board. So you are then going out every day and working towards whatever those goals that you have on your vision board. You start doing the behavior to start living the life that you want and that you're envisioning for yourself and the goals that you're setting.
Okay, there are so many things that I want to pull out of this. And the first one is the writing it down, because I'm going to say it's not even just because we hear this often, right? Oh, I've got this in my head. And it's whether you are an entrepreneur or someone who's working in any capacity. Like, it doesn't seem to really matter what the capacity is. It's always the same. I have it in my head.
Yeah.
And the challenge then becomes, for me, two things. We think in words and emotions. And so when you say you have it in your head, you actually have it in your heart space. You haven't named it. You haven't written it down. I love that you have to face it because it's written in front of you. That is beautiful, because it's true. When it's small sentence fragments and it's words and it's feelings, this is how we think about things. And so we think about how it makes us feel, but we don't actually lay it out.
No, a lot of people don't lay it out. And they view it as it's a lot of work. And it is. I'm not going to.
It can be.
It is. And sometimes, a lot of the feedback that I've gotten from my events is that you know, you teared me up. You made me, I came in here with one vision and I'm leaving with something else. And that's because we have to dig deep. We have to really understand. You really need to know if you're being serious with yourself. And this is why I believe it's a beautiful self-care tool, is if you're being really true to yourself and serious to yourself about your goals, whatever they are, you need to really unpack them.
Yep.
Right? Because this is what you want your life to be, or whatever it is that you're putting out there.
Oh, and there's so much in that, because I find I wanted to pick out two pieces. One of them is the fear that, you know, it's one thing to have a dream and to have the feeling, and there's a lot of value in holding the dream, which is very different from creating a logic and a plan and taking action on the dream. And these are two very different feelings and sensations.
Yes.
Have you experienced some of that too?
Yeah. And it's a hard process for a lot of people to grasp, right? Because one, from young in kindergarten, we talk about, like in education, we talk about dreams. You know, what are your dreams? What do you dream to be when you grow up? But it's actually, you know, we need to start changing that language and asking, you know, what is your vision? What is your goals? Yeah. Because then it's a deeper language. A dream is just a dream. Like it's just a dream, really and truly.
And dreamers, sometimes there's also language around dreamers, right? Dreamers aren't serious, and dreamers are, you know, they're very like head in the clouds. There's all these expressions that go along with being a dreamer that people won't take it seriously.
Right.
And we internalize that. Yeah. We don't take our own dreams seriously.
Yeah, we don't. And then we just downplay it. And then when we get in a place of being stuck, we're wondering, okay, why are we stuck? Why are we going through this? Why did we take 10 steps forward and 50 steps back? So it's, you know, and that's where the relationship with your goals and your vision is so key. Then you have a better understanding.
Tell me a little more about, because you've used this expression twice. So what does it mean to have a relationship with your vision board? So we sort of mapped out a vision board. You're literally taking your vision, you're breaking it down, you're creating a visual representation of it. And then what does it mean to have a relationship with this entity, this vision board?
So one is looking at it every day, but not just looking at it with purpose. So if you planned out your day, we provide you with a goal setting book that asks you what your goal is for today. And you look at your vision board. Okay, so let's give an example. Let's say you are working towards saving for a house, right? And that's going to take a couple of years. So those steps will be broken down prior to. But maybe one of the things for today is that you need to actually, you know, look at some banks, get pre-approvals and look at your options. Maybe you want to look at a bank. Maybe you want to look at a broker. So maybe it's coming up with 3 banks that you want to look at. Maybe it's coming up with 3 brokers you want to seek out or have conversations with, book consultations with. That could be the task of today. And that would be building the relationship. So every day you're looking at your vision board, you're breaking down the steps of what you are actually going to do today. And then that doesn't end there. So in the evening before you go to bed, we encourage you to, you know, one, reflect on your day, and give gratitude, and then also look at what you've achieved. So check off. I like to encourage people to write awesome instead of doing a check mark, because I guess a check mark feels good, but having a feeling or a word that describes like the way that you feel, the excitement of completing that task, is so much more powerful. So I encourage people to write awesome or superstar, whatever affirmation you need to say, word to say that you've completed it, write that there to say it's completed. And then just look at your, you know, and celebrate that you've achieved something for today. And then as you go through, it becomes easier and easier, and the relationship with your board becomes so much more powerful. And then you just start to see, even if you've skipped a day, things still align, things still come into your pathway for you to receive and do, even though you didn't like mentally sit down today and write in your book.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm loving all of this. One of my clients, she had laid out for herself a plan, and I really resonate with this. You know, it's more than a check mark. She actually went out and bought herself gold stars. And what I really valued is she had gold stars for the days when she actually did the thing that she had intended to do.
Right.
So literally a gold star, like it's right there. You said, like, just like in school, right? I
Yeah.
gave myself a gold star, right? It was awesome. And then she actually had for herself a whole bunch of other stickers that were all gentle affirmations. And so on the days when she didn't actually do the thing that she had set out to do, and for a variety of reasons, she wasn't feeling well, if she just didn't have the energy to accomplish what she knew she needed to get done, but today wasn't the right day to do it,
Right.
then she would leave herself a note celebrating the fact that she was looking after herself, that she had recognized her energy levels. Like she had some kind of a way of speaking really positively for herself
Good.
on those few days in between when she wasn't reaching her gold star.
Mm-hmm.
And so the fact that you have a word association, and I know you and I love the idea of pen to paper physically, not typing's totally different.
Yeah.
Pen to paper. Yeah.
I love pen to paper.
What have you found as some of the outcomes that make it a little bit different?
Right, doing pen to paper.
Yeah, compared to any
better
other
focus.
Okay.
And better focus. One, you don't have the blue light. You don't have to deal with the screen, and it's a personal time with you. I also found that it calms, like there's a calmingness to it. And I love hearing like paper. I love writing with pencils. So I love hearing people lead and pencil together on the, I know. So I love that. It just feels so much more powerful. And I just enjoy like that time, just that time to focus. It's a good time to focus, where I find on the computer, I get distracted. I can look at my screen. I can flip through multiple things that I have opened up on my computer screen, where with paper and pen, I'm only flipping a page, and I'm flipping a page to something I've already written. Right. So yeah.
Oh, I really like that a lot. I think there's so much value. We talk about the idea of pen to paper. We also talk about, and one of the things I heard you talk about is, how the vision board becomes easier over time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to come back to that, but I wanted to pick up first on something that you said just a little earlier, because it was like, oh, that's so fun. So people who come to your event, right, and they leave, I'm going to say emotionally charged, right? It's not tears of frustration, it's tears of joy, because they're so charged up that their body needs to release this energy, and does that through tears. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that we found in an accountability program we were running is we'd asked everyone what their goals were. And one of the participants, she shared her goal. And then at the end, when everyone had gone around, she came back, she put her hand back up. And so we said, tell us what's up. What do you want to share? And she said, oh no, I've listened to everyone else's goals. Mine's not enough. And so I'm adding to my goal. So tell us a little bit about, what is it that happens in this group that creates this dynamic? Can you tell us a little bit more about your events?
I think, I think everybody comes in with something. Everybody comes in with either an intention that they're ready to set. A few people have shared with me, whatever was going on in their life before, they like that they were able to come and just focus on themselves, so that there was that transition. But I just think it's always the right people in the space, always the right energy, that they're guided through. And then I take them through a process of where they have to look at their mindset, right? Like, especially with what's interrupting your life. We look at what's interrupting your life first, so we can understand, okay, where are these blockers coming from? Where are you getting stuck? What areas of your life are you being stuck? Is it your health and wellness? Is it your education? Is it your employment? Is it your business? Is it family? Is it whatever area of your life that you are struggling with? We name it. We give it a name. We give it a clear name, because you need to name it. Then we look at the limiting beliefs and the thoughts that come up with it. And I think that process helps people get really clear, and really, because you're writing it down. Yep. And we're all using paper and pen. So everybody gets a pencil. So, even if you want, you can erase it. But you are getting really clear with yourself, and it's one-on-one. And then once you're in the room amongst other people, you realize you're not alone. You're not alone. It may look different for people. It shows up differently, but we're all experiencing the same similar thing. It's just how we're having the relationship we're having with that interruption, right? But yes, and I think that's where people start to realize, oh, these are actually, that's the area where I came in thinking I was going to focus on my business. Actually, I'm going to focus on my family instead.
Mm. Really powerful, because oftentimes those interruptions, and I love that you dig into the sort of why, what's underpinning it, is our expectations for ourselves in the context of others.
Right.
So I started coming in with my business. I'm going to switch over and realize I need to focus on family.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's because it's what we need to fill our own cup to sustain us, to have the energy to do the other thing. But oftentimes it's a source of stress. And that's what holds us back. And the stress is around expectation, right? Which has to do with how we believe it. So I love that you dig into that.
Yeah.
So valuable.
Thank you. Thanks.
Are there some commonalities that you see? You talked about sort of people feeling that, you know, the way that they connect, realizing that others are going through something similar. Are there some commonalities that you see? You mentioned family, you mentioned sort of career, but those are more sort of entities. Do you find sort of that underpinning the expectations has some commonalities as well?
I think when those conversations are happening, I try to leave people to as a way opportunity to have the conversations amongst each other, because it's more powerful than me. I prefer to just be on the back and watch them.
Yeah,
as
facilitate
they in that
100%.
conversation, because it's more powerful there. But most people are speaking of like their health, like deeply, they need to start to do certain things. And when we break it down into like, what are those goals? What is it going to look like? If I was a fly on the wall, what would I be seeing you doing? Right. So it's breaking those down and understanding it for them. But yeah, I like them to engage in the conversation amongst each other. So I pull out a little bit.
Love that. Love that. And in terms of those observations, you mentioned health is sort of one of the things is an underpinning, you know, family and spending time with family, because I know that fills our cup.
Yeah.
So, you know, in terms of that, those goal setting pieces, tell us a little bit more, you know, because I'm hearing you, even in the example you gave was fabulous. Like, okay, well, you said this, but like, what does it actually mean?
Right. So, sorry, ask the question again.
Oh, so, you know, in terms of goal setting, you gave us an example of breaking it down. Can you tell us a little bit about sort of the process, or, you know, a little bit more about sort of that goal setting piece? How do you go from, okay, well, my health is the thing that I need to deal with, but that's massive.
Yes. So within the workshop, I ask them, you know, just probing questions. And then we start to break it down into smaller steps. So is it, when you look at your health, we'll use health as an example because it's pretty easy. And it's mostly on everybody's goal. Is it like the physical health, like your physical body? Is it eating habits you want to achieve? Is it like your mental health? Is it, so I ask them those type of questions to get really clear. And then once they pick an area, so if it's like a mental health thing, then we look at, okay, what are some of the things that you are experiencing as an interruption in your mental health? And like, how do we break that goal down to like action steps, and very small. So it could be journaling. It could be going for a mindfulness walk. It could be listening to, there's a lot of audio podcasts that help with being calm. If it's like anxiety you're dealing with, is it like getting fidgets? I love fidgets. So is it fidgets that you need?
What's a fidget?
So a fidget is, so here's an example of a fidget. So this is an example of fidget. It would be something you would play with in your hand. Sometimes you have there's slime. Some people like to play with. Sometimes there's like a key ring, or just little tools that you could keep in your hand. And it doesn't mean that you're necessarily anxious. It just means that you need something to fidget with, like in order to pay attention, to stay focused. Sometimes some people need little things in their hand to keep, like, because I talk with my hands. So sometimes if I if I need to keep my hand still, I'll play with this and I'll keep it down.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So it's just like different strategies. And that's how I help you break down your goals into smaller. And then people realize, oh, I can do it. Because sometimes, you know, when you hear, okay, my goal is I need to do better with my mental health. But what does that actually mean? What does it actually look like?
Yeah.
Right? So, and the one thing that I've started doing is journaling first thing in the morning. And I do it live at 5:30 in the morning.
Okay, tell me a bit about this.
Yeah.
Live journaling
Yes.
at 5:30.
30 in the
Okay.
morning. So
I'm not up, so I won't be there.
I
But
I know a lot of people tell me, but there are actually a lot of people up.
awesome.
This is week 2 of journaling. But I'm doing it every day, Monday to Friday. I put a journal prompt up. Right now, we're working on our mindset because mindset, I believe, is foundational to anything that you are going to embark on.
Yep.
So we're working on our mindset, and I put up a journal prompt, and we all answer it together live on IG.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. Just not at 5.
Yes, I know.
So
It's okay. You can catch the replay. There are a few people who like.
perfect.
They're like, "Are you posting it?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm posting it."
Excellent.
So yes, you can catch the replay.
Okay.
But yes.
Well thought. Hazel, tell me a little bit about how you got into this, because I'm hearing all of your wisdom and the practicality of your knowledge coming through. So how did you get into doing this?
So, one, I've done some work with my own self. 2, I'm also in education, and I've been in the mental health sector for 28 years, and in education for about the same amount of time. So, and I'm also a counselor to children and youth and their families. So I work on a crisis team for education. And as a result of that many years of experience, and I've also worked in a group home. So that many years of experience, I saw there was a need, and especially a need with focusing on yourself. A lot, especially the parents that I work with, they're always focused on their kids. They're always in, the highest level of stress and crisis. There's no like down, there's no in between. And I realized they don't actually have strategies. They don't actually have tools. They don't have an outlet or a space or somebody modeling the behavior that they would actually like to model and see themselves doing. So that's one of the reasons why Big Girl Interrupted exists, is so that I can model the behavior so that you can see it and be like, okay, I can do that. And you only need to take what you need. You don't need to take everything. Yes, people see me doing lots of different things, but you don't need to take everything that I do. Just take what you need, put it in your pocket, and do it for yourself.
Oh, I love that. One of the things that I've said is you don't need to take a bath, right? Do you know how many people are like, I don't have a bathtub.
Yeah.
I can't fathom taking a bath. I get bored in a bath. I'm like, don't take a bath.
Yes. I like that one. I'm going to take that one. Don't take a bath.
Best self-care ever. Don't take a bath.
Yeah.
If you don't want to, if it's what you love, take a bath. If you don't want it, don't take a bath.
I don't take a bath.
Don't take a bath either.
I like showers.
Yeah, totally with you on that one.
Yeah.
So, and tell me a little bit about you, because you started a podcast as well. So tell me a little bit how all of this sort of connected and evolved, because I love hearing stories about how the business has evolved and how your own growth plan has evolved.
So the podcast is my little baby. I'm having fun, and I'm actually meeting lots of amazing people all over the world, which is really exciting. But it's a space where you could go to actually hear the stories of other women who have experienced interruptions and how they've either turned their interruption into a business. And some people have written books as a part of their healing journey and becoming uninterrupted. Some people have become coaches. Some people haven't done anything. They've just gone through different processes in their lives. And are in a better space. So it's a place for you and a resource to be educated and really see yourself and hear the stories and take away key takeaways that you can actually put into action for yourself.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. I know I've been, so it covers sort of the whole gamut, and the theme is about working through being interrupted.
Yeah. So no more interruptions. Whatever it is. So I've spoken to a lot of people, and I'm even learning something. So which is really good, because it's like opened my eyes to like different ways of the way people live, why they've chosen to go the path that they have. So it's really good. It's really, really, really good.
What's been a takeaway that's really kind of surprised you? Something that you took away from as a learning?
So I recently had an interview with a woman who made the choice to be a single mom, and she's built a whole community around that. It's very common in the States, which was something I had never been. I'm not familiar to. My own personal and my community type of single mom has never been by choice, but these are women who have made it by choice. So it was like shifting the mindset to understand that. And then there's another woman who spoke about anxiety and becoming a children's author about anxiety and her own anxieties. There's a couple of others. And then today's episode was Carly, and she is a military daughter, and also her and her husband just adopted a baby.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that whole experience of being a military daughter, traveling around, and the life, being able to live the lifestyle that she lives now, and not having that same traveling, and seeing what her wants were and what her needs are.
Yeah.
For her family. But yeah, it's good.
Okay, that one I'm looking forward to listening to. I traveled a lot as a kid with family, so yeah, that'll be really cool. It's definitely a different experience when you're not settled.
Yes.
Yeah. Every couple of years you pick up and you pick up.
Yeah.
You pick up and you shift. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
Hazel, what other things did you want to share? Because we've covered so much, my friend. We've talked about vision boards. We've talked about how to goal set. We've talked about, different ways of repositioning our mindset around understanding and naming the things that are holding us back and blocking us. What else did you want to share with us today? We learned a little bit more about your story, which was phenomenal.
Oh, thank you. Just to take time with yourself. If you need help if you're struggling with your goals, like a lot of people reach out to me and be like, I created my vision board, but I don't know what to do. Right? I did what I needed to do, but I need help. Right? So I'm here to help. But just be kind to yourself and take your time. If anything, just take your time.
Goal setting is so much more complicated than people realize.
Yes. And you need to be uncomfortable with it. So if you're feeling uncomfortable with the goals that you're setting, you're on the right path. If you're not feeling comfortable with it, you need to really look a little deeper. Get really uncomfortable with it.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And figuring out the interaction, because even the example you gave, there's one around our health, and our health is never on our own. If we had total control over ourselves, then we would likely be living the healthier life that we want, right? Yeah. And we don't have total control over ourselves, and that's our challenge, right? Someone else manages our schedule. Someone else needs to be fed. So, there's other things that take on our time and our space. But then the flip side to that is engaging with someone. And you gave such a good example around saving for a house. You can save for a house, but you can't buy a house on your own. So starting to figure out realtors, starting to figure out neighborhoods, starting to figure out, who you're good, what financing options you even have. All of this takes research, but it also takes interaction. And I love that one of the steps you had was building that relationship, right? Which is completely different than the discovery phase at the beginning. And then it's okay, well, let's get to know each other a little bit more and figure out, how do you start to trust me as a person, that I'm trustable, right, with this goal, but then also start feeding them, okay, well, now that I know that you're on board, here's some other information that will be helpful, right? Yeah. And it goes both ways, and starting to want to be educated, to want to be coached. And then people want to invest in you because they see that you want the investment.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, 100%. You are right on.
I had the fortune of talking to a summer student today. She just got accepted into a graduate program, and she said, what is your advice? Because I was a university professor for a number of years, and I said, we always design our programs, with this objective, there's an ideal journey that we design it for. And I'm going to speak to students, not necessarily program participants, but oftentimes they show up and they get what they need out of it, which is, exactly what do I need to do to get the mark that I need to go do this other thing. And that's their objective. Their objective is just the grade and not the experience. And so she was like, oh, there's this one class and I can see how well I do it. If I work on this other piece of my thesis, then I'll actually be, and I was like, oh, you get it. And I said, as you start to go through your courses, engage with your professors, because the few bright spots of any coach, teacher, instructor is the ones who see what you've tried to create for them. And when they receive it and they engage with it, they will pour themselves into you.
Yeah.
Right? Because you get it. And so not everyone does. Most people, that's not what they need, and they go through their own journey. But when the journeys align, there's this wonderful desire from educators to just pour into that person because they want to be helped. And so I bring that up because I'm hearing the same piece. I'm going to, there's going to be the few in the program that people will take out of everything that they need. And then there'll be a couple who just fully get exactly what you've created for them.
Yes. And that's how it is with anything that you participate in, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love that. Hazel, thank you for joining me today. This has been such a great conversation. I love how you've designed it. I love the level of depth that you've put in. For those of you who are signed up for our newsletter, we'll definitely include links to when Hazel's running her next program. So we'll do that ongoing. So you can, excellent. I know, I'm excited about that. So we'll make sure to include all of that and how to get in touch with you. Okay. But you mentioned sort of your final advice was around, take time and care with yourself. Did you want to elaborate that on at all? Is there anything else you want to share in that context?
You just have to be gentle. Your roadmap, and you have to be prepared that your road that you're traveling on may have left turns, may have a right turn, may have a big hill that you have to go over, and may have a small one. But you can do it, and know that you can do it. That's why you need to take time for yourself. Be gentle. Just take care of yourself and be gentle.
I love that. I love that. Okay, we're going to see that quote again, my friend. Thank you for coming to join me today.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Absolute pleasure. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.